somewhere in northern Appalachia, 2003. It was a chilly autumn night in 2003 when I was 16 years old. My friend Jack and I decided to sneak out for some fresh air and late-night conversation. We drove to a park near the edge of the Appalachian Foresta place that, by night, was practically deserted. We parked near a picnic table. There was a single street lamp nearby, casting a dim yellow light that only lit up a few feet around us. The rest was swallowed by darkness. Around 11 p.m., we were just chatting, scrolling through our flip phones, when we heard something strange, a soft rustling, like movement in the woods. At first, we thought it was a raccoon or maybe a deer. But then we saw them 4, maybe 5 children, standing at the edge of the tree line. They weren't running, crying, or playing, just standing, silent. They wore neat clothes, old-fashioned in style. What struck me immediately was how still they were. No movement, no sound, just watching us. I turned on my flashlight, and that's when things got even weirder. The beam hit them directly, but it didn't feel like it lit them up. It was like my light hit a mist hazy, as if they weren't really there. Emerging from the woods, there are 4 to 5 children, younger than us. They just stopped, stood there, and stared. Jack, trying to keep his cool, called out, "Hey, you kids okay? Do you need help?" No answer, just those blank stares. Then I noticed their eyes. There were no whites, no pupils, just solid black, endless, cold. It felt like they weren't looking at us but into us. I started shaking. Jack locked the doors immediately. I tried turning the ignition, and for a moment, the car wouldn't start. My chest tightened. "Go!" I yelled. Finally, the car started, and we sped off. I didn't dare look back, but even without seeing, I knew they were still standing there, watching, like statues. Back home, I couldn't sleep. I went online and started reading. That's when I first came across the phrase black-eyed children. Everything matched. Groups of silent kids with completely black eyes, asking for help or worse, asking to be let in. Most accounts ended with the same chilling truth. If you let them in, something changes, something dies. I didn't believe in the paranormal, but after that night, I couldn't say it was all just stories anymore. I had seen them. I knew they were real. The fear stayed with me for days. I couldn't sleep. Every creak in the house made me jump. I kept thinking, why did they appear? Why me? After almost a week, I did something incredibly stupid. I went back. This time I brought a flashlight, my phone, and an old camcorder. I parked in the same spot, Saturday on the same bench. I tried to act casual, but my heart was pounding the entire time. 15 minutes passed. Nothing. I started thinking, maybe it really was in my head. Maybe it was just kids playing a prank. Then movement. 2 figures stepped into the light. A boy and a girl. Around 9 or 10 years old, dressed in dark clothes, standing side by side. Again, the stillness. I raised my flashlight. Their faces didn't react. They stared directly at me. Then I saw their eyes. Black. Again. Completely black. Just like before. But this time, I held my ground. I started recording with the camcorder. My hand was shaking. I remember asking, "What do you want?" No answer. But something changed in the boy's expression. He smirked. Not a friendly smile. A mocking, twisted grin. Then they turned, in perfect unison. Walked back into the forest. No sound, no footsteps, just vanished. I checked the footage. Only about 10 seconds captured. Blurry, grainy, but you could see them. You could see those eyes. I uploaded it to Reddit under R Paranormal. People began responding. Some said they'd seen the same figures. One user said, "It was dark. I don't remember the eyes, but they were not normal. Closest thing I can compare, glow sticks. They just stared." Another mentioned a similar experience in Portland. A woman with black eyes knocked on his garage door. His younger brother opened it, and to this day, he doesn't remember why. That's when it hit me. I wasn't the only one. These sightings had been happening for decades, across the country. Always the same signs. Kids, black eyes, silence, coldness, and that terrifying, paralyzing stillness. I stopped going back after that. But the fear didn't stop coming to me. Even though I never returned to that park again, the feeling that I wasn't alone never went away. I started noticing things. My bedroom curtains would shift at night just slightly, as if someone was brushing past them. Lights would flicker. Sometimes I'd hear soft knocking on the window. But when I looked, there was no one there. It started affecting my sleep. I began dreaming of them. The boy, the girl, their black eyes staring right into my soul. Every time I woke up drenched in sweat. One night, I thought I saw something in my backyard. I ran outside with a bat, flashlight shaking in my hand, and nothing. But the air? Freezing cold. Still. Heavy. Just like that night. I scoured more stories online. Some people said the same thing. That once you see them, they don't forget you. They follow. Maybe not in body, but in spirit. A presence. A weight. One guy posted about how his sister opened the door to a black-eyed teen one rainy night. Afterward, she barely spoke for a week, and when she did, she simply said, "He asked if he could use the phone." That was it. Someone else wrote about seeing 3 of them near an abandoned school playground at 1 a.m. They didn't move, didn't blink, just stood there. There were 3 kids playing. They weren't moving and you couldn't see their eyes. 1 a.m., elementary school aged. That phrase repeated in my head like an echo. You couldn't see their eyes. I began to wonder, what if they choose you? What if the moment you lock eyes with them, they mark you somehow? I still don't have answers. All I know is that ever since 2003, something changed. Not just in my fear, but in my reality. I can't explain it. I can only share what happened. So if you ever hear a knock at night, and you see children standing there, quiet, eyes too dark to be normal, don't open the door. Don't speak. And whatever you do, don't let them in.